Welcome to the second episode of the Head vs. Heart podcast, where we talk about footy betting from an emotional and an analytical perspective. But first of all, we've got a guest here today. Do you want to introduce yourself at all?
Hey gents, Adam here. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, of course. So we'll just look into some of the carnage that unfolded last round and see how it affects us. But first, we just need to jump into accountability. So we'll go through our bets from last round. We'll just go through each game.
So, first of all, I ended up with 1 from 8 on my bets, but that's not too bad. I'm only down $15. How about yourself?
Yeah, so for the bets posted on the pod, I went 4 from 5. If you followed just those bets, you'd be a total of $706 in profit. My total week, because I was betting on AFL, a few different things, my total profit was $467.56.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
So if you followed those bets, you would have made some good money. We'll go through each bet in detail now.
Yeah, before we get into that though, I have to say I talked a lot of trash about certain players and I had some absolute comeuppance about that. Just the fact that Sam Walker scored a double after I said I do not rate him at all kind of just sums up exactly what's going to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Roger Tuivasa-Sheck had a good game as well.
Roger scored a try.
Few players.
Josh Curran as well had a try taken off him. I think he probably deserved it.
Yeah. So we'll jump into some of these players when we go into the games later.
Yeah.
But we'll go through the bets. So first game was the Panthers game. You had Panthers head-to-head, Tungo and Taruva.
Yep, at $6.50.
Bang.
Bang.
That one's
only bet I got this round.
Yeah. I had the Panthers 1-12. That didn't win because they won 13 plus. Also had a matched bet that won $15. So negative 85 through the first game, and you were up 55 through the first.
Yep, I was up 55 indeed.
Yeah.
And then for the second game, Warriors v Raiders, I had Raiders head-to-head, Xavier Savage and Dylan Watenia-Zalesniak take that blocker at $11.50. Unfortunately, that didn't get up, and neither player really looked like scoring, which I'm kind of surprised about. How about you?
Yeah, I had the Warriors minus 7.5. It was a bit of a nervy one at the end. I thought the Warriors looked good, but the Raiders also looked pretty good. So it was bang on the line, basically. Warriors won by 8. So a bit lucky to get that one up.
Yeah, and so the following game, I had Rabbits head-to-head, Johnston, Young, and Latrell anytime scorers. Dom Young is an absolute weapon, and I am so mad he's now playing for the Roosters. But I am honestly so disappointed in the Rabbits. I don't know what's going on, but they are just playing shit football. That's the only way to say it. They're just playing shit, they're performing shit, and it's well under what they can do. Yeah. So, sure, I assume that they're going to keep on playing like that. I'm just disappointed. I'm not going to take them again this year.
Yeah, 0-3 to start now. I didn't have a best bet on the game, but yeah, Roosters would have been the team to take in that game.
No, you think so?
Yeah.
Should have bet on it then.
I should have. I did say I like the Roosters, but I didn't bet on it, so can't really claim that one.
So the next game is my lock of the week, and what a bet that was. I had Titans head-to-head and Canberra anytime at $3.25. What was the score of that game?
Didn't he?
I think he did, yeah. But what was the score of that game?
What was it, 36-0 or something?
I mean, you've got the laptop. We brought him on here as the IT man. Doesn't know what he's doing.
32-0.
Well,
AKP didn't score, did he?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you tricked me there.
So, yeah, obviously that one didn't get up.
That didn't get up.
I didn't put a bet on myself in the pod, but I did say I'd like either team 1-12, so I eventually did get on either team 1-12, and that one obviously didn't win as well because the Bulldogs pumped them.
Yeah, so in the next game, I had 2 separate bets at half units, so $5 each. I had the Cowboys 30+, Nanai, Felt, and Dearden anytime scorer, as well as the Dragons head-to-head, Lomax anytime scorer, and Lomax 10 points. So with my Dragons bet, that was up within the first 20 minutes. If I cashed out, I would have made a decent chunk of money off that. But no, I said, I'm going to let it steam, I'm going to let it roll, and what can you do? The Dragons lost by 20 points, and Dearden scored. But the problem is, the second rower on the left side for the Cowboys scored, as well as their left side winger as well. So I'd like to think that was an almost bet that almost got up, and they should have attacked the other side, but they didn't.
Yeah, we'd be very rich if we were counting all our almost bets, Hayden. But unfortunately that one doesn't count for yourself there. I didn't have a bet on the game myself, so Yeah.
Few bad beats there, Haydox, this week.
That's a very bad
Rabbits
beat.
head-to-head, Titans head-to-head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next game, of course, Sharks. I had 30
Sharks
plus,
30 plus.
Ronaldo and Wilton.
Yeah.
What was that score?
Probably the bad beat of the week.
That was so close, but I reckon.
Tigers won by 30. What was the
Yeah,
final
30.
score?
32-6, I believe.
32-6. So yeah, they won by 26.
26.
Yeah, myself, I had the Tigers plus 12.5, probably the safest bet of all time. Got up by
Tigers.
38 points.
I guess that's why they call it the 8th wonder of the world, am I right? Leichhardt Oval.
Leichhardt Oval,
The
yeah.
vibes are immaculate.
Yeah. But the Tigers looked really good. Yeah. Bet got up very easily, so happy that I was on the Tigers there. What were you thinking with the Sharks in that one?
What were you possibly thinking getting on the Tigers? Every rational footy brain says that the Sharks are going to absolutely come out and dominate the Tigers.
Well, the rational footy brain says that the Sharks have won 2 games so far, so the market will not miss them in the odds, right? The 12.5 was a keen line. I honestly didn't even think really that they would win, but yeah, I definitely thought the 12.5 was massive value there.
Yeah, but didn't the Tigers lose by like 20 points last week?
Yeah, they did, but
Yeah, exactly. You'd expect a mean to continue, would you not? You expect losing teams to lose and winning teams to win.
no, that sort of leads into some of my bets today. Like most teams don't lose lots of games in a row, so that will lead into some of my bets later on.
Like when Knights fans, bad teams lose a lot in a row.
That's true, but if you actually look back, like a lot of the time when losing teams are doing badly, they don't actually lose that many games in a row. They might lose like 3 or 4 in a row and then win 1 and then 3. It's generally pretty spread out, their wins.
Yeah, but they're
throughout
going
the
for a 3-peat this year, mate. You could expect them to possibly lose 2 on the trot.
Well, also the Tigers team's a lot better.
Is it?
This year.
I mean, Appy was still there last year. They've still got Clemmer. I mean, they've got Buller and a couple other young guns, but their team's not that different.
We've got
like that.
We've got a halfback this year.
Yeah.
Aiden Caesar.
Better than
Caesar
Brandon Wakem.
Caesar looks really, really good, and Galvin looks unreal.
Yeah,
as well.
lucky Galvin.
Galvin was probably a Tigers fan. You'd probably say Galvin was the best half on the field that match.
Better performance than any Tigers half had all 27 rounds last year, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I mean, a lot of players in there. Appy looking really good.
I mean, I'd probably have Appy being my starting hooker this year for Blues, would you know?
Yeah, for the Blues, yes, probably.
I know
Yeah.
he's like 34 years old, but he can still go.
Yeah. So yeah, easy salute for myself there. We'll jump into the next game.
Yep, so we've got the next game. I had Manly head-to-head, Turbo, Paulo, Olakau'atu and Brooks. Again, 20 minutes in, I was cheering, thinking this has already gotten home. In fact, Adam, you were messaging me in the group chat saying, your bet looks so good right now.
I think I was saying that.
Yeah,
actually,
you said that as well. Anyway, you both jinxed it, because after they're up, 18-0 was
14-0
14-0, sorry.
Yeah.
They just have no momentum, and they just die out the arse.
Yeah, so what, Turbo, Paulo got up and...
Well, so, yeah, Turbo and Paulo got up, but what happened was, it was a kick. I think it was Turbo kicking to himself. It's a grubber, and it's him and Olakau'atu, fighting for the ball. Why is it only showing, one of the tries?
Yeah, so, yeah, either way, I know Turbo and Paulo did both get up.
Yeah, so anyway, what ended up happening was Turbo essentially stole the try of Olakau'atu, and I was kind of hoping to go to him, because how often do second rowers get a chance to score in a game?
Yeah, more likely that Turbo will score.
Exactly.
But you were looking on for a little bit there.
Yeah, I was looking on, and then of course...
First 20 minutes.
First 20 minutes, it's a guaranteed lock.
Yeah.
I should have cashed out early.
Yeah, no, I had Eels head-to-head, but it was another one of those games. It was a close one. It wasn't like a massive win, but definitely on the right side there. Especially in the end, I actually got over $2 odds. So pretty happy with that win there.
And then for the final game was Knights being Melbourne. Knights 13 plus I had, plus Ponga and Jenkins anytime scorer. I actually thought that Jenkins would play left wing, so I'm counting that as a win for me. I'm saying
The Knights didn't win 13 plus.
Okay, they didn't win 13 plus. I'm saying that part of the bet is up because I assumed that Jenkins was going to play in the left wing. Ponga looked really good for the first half, and he probably should have found something in the second half, but he just didn't play that well in the second half. And then of course Knights were up by 14 and ended up just winning by 2. So it's kind of disappointing. I thought the Knights would kick on, but no, they didn't. So I'm counting it as a moral victory.
Sure, you can count it as a moral victory if you wish, but it still didn't win either way. I had the Knights head-to-head. Just got up. Shouldn't have been that close, I don't think.
No, not at all.
We looked very clunky.
As Christian Welch said, how did the Knights only win by 2? They had no one.
Yeah, we'll since he made that post about about the Knights can't win the comp, basically the Storm haven't beaten us since then. So
It's been 2 games.
still claim it, claim that.
Two from
As
two.
a 2 from 2, yeah.
Permanent right there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's everything. So 4 from 5. The one I missed was the Penrith game, and the one you got was the Penrith game.
Yeah,
so.
the Penrith game as well. So yeah, if you want to follow our bets, follow my first one and follow literally anything else James says.
Yeah, that's it.
I burn out early, so
Yeah. Well,
I'm a quick finisher, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll jump into the next round. We'll give out some of our best bets, and then we'll give out our Supercoach trades as well.
Yep, no worries. We'll get into it.
So for myself to start, my best bets, I got on the Roosters early. So Roosters head to head. This was just before the news of Cleary being hooked was announced, being injured. I got on Roosters head to head at $2.60 and $2.65. You'll see that in the spreadsheet if you have a look there. My advice would also be to follow the spreadsheet before the team lists are out, because you can see any early bets that I post in there in that spreadsheet. Also got on the Tigers plus 12.5 early in the spreadsheet as well, and the Raiders plus 6.5 early. So all of those lines have decreased. I would still definitely take the Raiders and Roosters current line. So I think you can get Roosters minus 3.5 on Bet365, and I think you can get Raiders plus 4.5 in places.
5.5 still.
Or 5.5, yeah, and then
bad.
plus 6.5 at maybe $1.72. So would still take a plus 4.5, and would still take the Roosters line. I'm massive on the Roosters, just with the Roosters head-to-head bet, because I did place a lot of money, and I might place a bit of money on the Panthers just to hedge that bet, because the line has shifted now, or the head-to-head market has shifted, so the Panthers are outsiders now. Do you want to talk to your best bets for the
Yes,
round?
my best bet for the round isn't actually for the round itself, but I'm saying get on the Titans to beat the Spoons, to win the Spoon this year at 360. I think them losing Tino, they've lost a big captain in that team. They lost a bloke who's willing to run, who's willing to tackle, and I don't think they can replace him even if they do bring back Fifita and Campbell. I genuinely do not see them not winning the Spoon this year.
Des could be that bad though that he gets sacked
Oh yeah, exactly.
early on, and then they bring a new coach in and they get a bit of a response, and then maybe they get off the bottom of the ladder. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they've won a game this year, which is so strange. But again, where are their performances coming from? It's just bottom of the barrel. What is going on with this team? They seem to be so tired, yet Des is one of the guys who's known for getting his players fit. So what is going on at training? What are they doing? There's no attacking form either. Are they just hoping that Fifita and Campbell can do something for them? I don't know. And I think just, waiting for those two players to come back is just going to be completely destructive for their team.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't hate it as a bet. He's a massive player for them. I'll be interested to see how they go with Fifita and JC back though, because
Yeah, true.
I'm assuming Desi would have built a lot of their attack around those two players in the preseason, so they could make a big difference. But yeah, definitely don't hate it as a bet.
So when it comes to Supercoach, what kind of trades have you made?
Just
so far
before
this
we
round?
jump into that, did you have a best bet that you wanted to go yourself, Adam? Or
Definitely echo that Raiders bet. I'd take a plus 6.5 if you're willing to go the shorter odds, or a plus 4.5 at maybe around $2. Even head to head, I like the Raiders because the Sharks pack is just decimated this week.
yeah, and we'll talk more about that once we get into the game there.
Apologies, yes, by the way.
Yeah. We'll jump into our trades for the round.
Yeah.
So for myself, with Cleary, I was going to go Hines to Brooks, but with the Cleary injury, I'll go Cleary to Brooks, and then Viliami Fifita to Kai Pearce-Paul.
Ooh, very interesting, because I've also gone Cleary to Brooks. I guess my hand was forced, and Luke Brooks is looking pretty good so far.
Yep.
And then my second one, again a forced trade, I'm going Tino. Unfortunately, he's done his ACL, he's not coming back. And then I'm going to go for a bit of a roughie in Hazelton.
Yep.
I think he's going to get a lot of game time. He's been named to start now, and that Sharks forward pack has been absolutely decimated.
Yep.
It's very likely he gets about 4 games. 4
Yeah.
games starting.
Yeah, well, it depends on how long. I know there's a heap of Sharks. Well, we'll talk about it in the Sharks game, but there's heaps of Sharks forwards. So it depends how long all of those forwards get out. Are out, but we can talk about that in that specific game. We'll jump into each game now. Yeah, so we'll jump now into the first game of the round, which is Panthers Roosters. Just from a Supercoach standpoint, we'll just have a look at some of the big outs. So Lindsay Collins and Sandon Smith are out for the Roosters, and then probably the biggest one, Nathan Cleary, is out for the Panthers, as well as Scott Sorensen.
And Fisher Harris remains out still as well.
Yes, as well as, I'm sure there's other players that are relevant there. For yourself, how does that affect?
I am so mad that I have to force sell Nathan Cleary. He was already losing value as well, and unfortunately, he's forced my hand. Really, I didn't want to take him out of my team, but unfortunately, injuries happen, and you're going to move around those, and just life goes on, I guess. Yeah.
If you knew because it's the injuries reported 2 to 4 weeks, I think. If you knew for a fact it was 2 weeks, would you be still trading him out, or?
Look, it's 700 and something thousand that Nathan Cleary is. I don't think you can hold that much money on the bench for 2 weeks. That's my personal opinion, at least.
Yeah, for me, with Nathan Cleary, I would be holding. I wouldn't be holding. But if I knew he was out for 2 weeks and I didn't have Hines, I could think about holding, because Hines has the bye next round, so you kind of need a second half to play next round. But you could definitely think about holding Cleary if you didn't have Hines. But that's going to be very rare, because if you don't have Hines, you probably have your other half. If you don't have Hines, you might have a Mitch Moses or someone like that. So either way, it's going to be someone that you're going to have to trade out. So
personally, I have a Drew Hutchinson, but
yeah. So are you moving Drew Hutchinson up?
So I now have 800,000 on the bench, but I'm going to wait until next week so I don't have to waste my extra 3-person trade. So I think it's best that I'm probably going to go for a Nico or someone along those lines. But does he have a bye next week?
He has a bye next week, yeah.
Okay, so I might have to hold on to Hutchinson one more week, but I don't really mind that too bad. He's got 60 or something ridiculous.
63, 64 or something.
Yeah. From here, I'm just going to hold. I'm going to go steady, I guess, but I wasn't really given a choice, was I?
Yeah, you didn't have Cleary yourself, Adam.
Didn't have Cleary. I really wanted to boost to get him in this week, and now I'm in a bit of a pickle. I guess moving Hutchinson up to halfback isn't the worst, but certainly wasn't in my plans before the injury news.
Yep. Yeah. For yourself, boys, let me see who else is in this team. There's a Maverick guy. I think he's 200k. Would you think about bringing him in, Hayden?
I don't think he's going to get that many. I don't think he's going to get enough games this year to justify getting him in.
Yeah, because I'm not sure how long Scott Sorensen's injury is, but I probably wouldn't be looking at him either.
I think he's also, again, I don't think he'd be in this team if not for his daddy, but I guess we'll find out, won't we?
I think it's just purely down to his dad that
in the team. When you think about it, the captain of this club, or the star player of this club, is actually the son of the coach.
Yeah.
So I think there might be a bit of nepotism going on at Penrith.
So you think Nathan Cleary wouldn't be playing NRL if it wasn't for...
I don't think he would be starting halfback at any other team if not for his dad. But I'm of course taking the piss, but I mean he's by far, those two are by far the best father-son combination in the league, but the thing is that's not very hard to beat. You've got
Walters.
You've got Kevy and Billy, and you had Jake and Brad at one point, but even then Jake realised it's probably best not to play 4 minutes off the bench for the Eels. So
yeah,
is there any other combinations at all, or is it just those three?
They're the ones I can think of. I can't think of any others at this.
Yeah.
Oh, Flanagan's.
Oh yeah, Cole Flanagan I think is an underrated player, but
yeah, we can jump into that in the later game.
Okay.
Any other Supercoach relevant players?
Well, Liam Henry getting bigger minutes again this week.
Yeah.
Could definitely be a play. 50 odd last week.
Yeah, true. He should get. Yeah, we got 50 odd last week.
50 odd last week. Should get maybe even more minutes. He's a gun. As long as he's getting minutes, he's a play. Yeah,
definitely could be a play. Depends on your bench makeup, the number of plays you have. But yes, definitely save points. Probably a good move at this time of the year if you have him, because points and outside backs, that sort of stuff is very fluctuates a lot. So if you need save points, definitely Liam Henry could be a play. Do either of you boys have any of those Roosters back rowers, like a Tupanua or a Wong or a...
Yeah, so on that point, what happened to C.O. Wong? Did he drive over the coach's dog or something? Why is he on the reserve list now?
He's young.
Yeah, but he had a taste of first grade. He was starting at the start of the year, and now he's dropped. And it doesn't really make any sense to me. I know you've got Broadway or Hargraves back there, but I'd probably say he's better than Nat Butcher. He's on paper better than Nafahu White. He's better than Egan Butcher. Angus Crichton I don't like because he's got 9 fingers, but I think you can find a spot for him in there.
But if you're dropping like a Nafahu White, like they probably want him like more middle rotation. So if you're dropping if you think he's better than Nafahu White, then you've got like several back rowers on the bench there. So.
Yeah, and again, these guys, the Butchers can play front row if they have to. If you want a decent player to play middle minutes, you can. I don't think at Angus Crichton, again, why are they using him as like some sort of, I guess, strike player? He's traditionally not that kind of guy.
Angus Crichton is not a strike player.
Yeah. Have a look at the stats, mate.
Mate, look
He's good through the middle.
Yeah, he's good through the middle.
Quick play the balls. He's not.
He's better at playing 60 minutes rather than having him play 30, 40.
Yeah, sure, yes.
Yeah.
It's tough to find minutes in that pack. I don't think there's a right answer to how you mix it around, really. It's tough to fit all those players in. Someone's got to miss out.
You could have him play hooker.
For Supercoach, Terrell May starting, do you think that is it good or a bad thing?
I am actually so happy about that. I picked him up off the bench, but again, does it really matter when he's going to get 60 minutes anyway?
Yeah, no, I would say it doesn't really matter.
I don't think it really matters with Terrell May.
Yeah. So we'll just jump into our bets for this round.
Also, by the way, I was joking about Sia Wong being a hooker, in case you couldn't get that.
Yeah, no, I got that. Thanks. So do you want to jump into your bets for this round?
Look, so I think Roosters probably are going to do a big win, and they're going to win comfortably.
Against Penrith?
Against Penrith, I think they'll get a comfortable win. So I've got Roosters, Tedesco anytime, and Dominic Young anytime at 6.25. The Condom, I don't know what's going on with his brain, but for some reason he's got some white line fever, and that's not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, right. As already mentioned, I did have Roosters head to head, and you can still get them at negative 3.5 on Bet365, which I would still take at this point.
I can't believe you got 260 for the Roosters head to head.
Yeah, jumped on sort of perfect timing there, so pretty lucky.
How far did that line move then? It's a lot of points for Cleary being ruled out.
Yeah, so they would have been probably like 9 points moved.
Yeah. Wow.
8 or 9 points. Yeah, so a lot of points.
Keep in mind that Kiri wasn't a confirmed starter either. So you've got kind of it going both ways.
Well, yeah, and Sam Walker, there was some doubt around. So, yeah, a bit of that, but yeah. But it was already before team list when Cleary was confirmed that the Roosters were already favourites. So at least like 6 points swing for just because of Cleary. So, but it makes sense to an extent. They don't, like if Cogger was there, maybe it wouldn't have been as big of a swing, but yeah, it's Schneider now playing 7.
Brett Schneider.
Yeah, so that's why there's a bigger swing. But we'll jump into the next game. So it's Bunnies versus the Bulldogs.
No changes really.
Traditional Good Friday game.
It's
the same game they play every Good Friday, isn't it?
So no ins or outs in the actual team, but Damien Cook's starting. Just if you go to the reserves, they've got
Fox is listed in the reserves.
Fox is listed in the reserves. Havili in the reserves. So Havili started 9. Now in the reserves, and then Lockie Elias in the reserves.
So Sean maybe he's been dropped as well. That's interesting.
Yeah, Sean Kepi not playing. Do you think that is a positive or a negative thing on the team?
I don't know, actually. I think he's done a lot better at the Bunnies over the past couple of weeks than he did at the Manly. But I guess if you can't find a spot for him and you want to promote Tallis Duncan, then go with Tallis Duncan, like a young player, over Sean Kepi, who is like a journeyman of the most average caliber.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the straight swap.
I think Big Shaq was in this week, and he's been playing really
well.
So I think you can't go past Shaq over Kepi, really.
It's funny that he's probably putting more effort in than his brother this year, which I find quite funny. Yeah.
I actually think Latrell has been okay this year. I think he's not the biggest problem in their attack.
The problem with Latrell, in my opinion, is he's not an 80-minute player. So if there's no one to play during the periods where he's not playing, then you're just going to get exposed during that period.
But what fullback in the comp is an 80-minute player. Like a lot of fullbacks just chime in and make big effort plays, and that's how they affect the team.
Yeah, but the problem is the difference with, say, a Ponga and a Mitchell is that Ponga will still touch the ball once or twice a set. Latrell will just kind of hang around and maybe not touch the ball for 3 or 4 sets straight.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I think Ponga's a different player. But there's a
totally
lot of
different
players in a lot of teams. Well, a lot of fullbacks, in teams that like just chime in every now and again rather than like sort of the whole game. But that's how Latrell plays anyway. Like even when he's good, he's chiming in whenever he wants, and then everyone sings his praises. But they're losing, and he's still chiming in whenever he wants, and then now people are.
He's always the scapegoat. He came into this season really fired up. I think he's putting a fair bit more effort in than he did at the back end of last year. I don't think he's the one to fault.
Yeah. And also, like, against what people are saying on the internet, he's looking pretty ripped this year as well. Like, he's looking big, but also, like, you know, a big athletic kind of big. Big sexy, if you
ready to run over people, I reckon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, can we just, like, point out the fact that touch judge for this game is, like, named Drew Outram?
What's notable about that, Hayden?
Well, you see, as a touch judge, you're the one defining what is and what isn't out.
That's a great pick-up, Ados.
It is. I'm actually kind of sad now. No one finds me funny.
So yeah, for this one, just Supercoach wise, you've still got Drew Hutchinson. Both of you boys have Drew Hutchinson.
Yeah. He's just on my bench though. I don't really plan on starting him, especially after those 2 30s he got in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah. So you're more worried about the 30. Like you more think it's going to be more 30s than 60s, or?
I think with Drew Hutchinson, again, he may just be building into his game, but I think that game against the Titans may have been a bit of a fluke with his points. And to be honest, I'd rather just wait a couple of weeks to be disproven.
Yeah, I think that's probably like one of the best fixtures he's going to get in like near future. Just because like the Titans had all those players out, and then just the Dogs are very up for it. So it's going to be hard for him to do much better than that in the near future. Obviously, if the Dogs start clicking and start pumping teams, he's going to get some scores in there. But yeah, I just wouldn't have super high expectations. Definitely wouldn't be trading him in. But if you had him, I don't mind flipping him up to halfback momentarily, so you can have more flexibility to bring in a better centre wing.
Of course.
At this point.
Another guy, if you have him in your team, Cameron Murray, I would probably sell immediately. Apparently, he's been diagnosed with bursitis. He's going to play over the next couple of weeks, but he will have his time managed.
Yeah.
So probably get rid of him if you can, just temporarily. I don't expect big minutes from him.
Yeah, I did hear about that injury. He picked up a training, so minutes could be anything. In terms of the rest of the team, I think Latrell was quiet last round. I think he goes decently this round. I'm going to make a bold claim. I think he goes 80 plus this round.
Let's do a side bet then. I think he goes under 80. So what's this bet?
I'm being bold by saying 80 though, so I'll go 70 or something.
Okay, 70. Yeah. So what's the payoff going to be?
He's doing you over there, Haydos. He's priced at an 80.
We can talk
75.
about... Okay, 75. I'll go 75.
Yeah, go 75 then. What is it?
Yeah, we'll go... I don't know. We can just figure out the terms of the bet, but we'll have a side bet that I reckon he goes over 75 and you reckon he goes under 75.
He's going to be looking to run over one of those young Bulldogs forwards, I reckon. He's got a meaty in him.
Yeah, run up a Billy Army kick out, I dare you.
Yeah, no, but some of the other forwards there,
Liam
less
Knight.
experience.
Yeah,
Liam Knight's a big boy though. So
what happened on Liam Knight? He had some of the worst performances ever during the trial matches. He gets dropped for the first 2 rounds, and suddenly he comes back and he's starting again.
It's because Pharmacy's out as well.
Poasa. Yeah.
Who else are you going to start, man? They want to put Curran off the bench for impact, and you can't start Curtis Moran.
You could
start Sam Hughes.
Start Kurt Mann. But where is
they're not going to? They should start Kurt Mann.
Start Kurt Mann there. Started there.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens.
No, but Sam Hughes they could start, but I think they're just trying to keep the makeup of the team the same. That's why they brought Liam Knight in to start.
So what do you think about Critter so far at the Bulldogs? I think he's been quiet to say the least.
I mean, I haven't really even looked at him Supercoach wise, so yeah, I don't know.
I mean, just as a bloke, has he done much on the field?
As a bloke.
Yeah.
haven't thought much about him as a bloke.
But other than that, is there really anyone?
So Sam Hughes, people will still have. I'm just holding. It's not a trade out you need to make. He's not going to make or lose much money. Josh Curran was good again. What's his price? Can you check Josh Curran's price?
You went up a bit this week. It'd be about 500.
I would say about 500.
470.
471. Like it's not the worst trading. What did he score last round?
He got about 50. He didn't have the best round because the doggies didn't have to do much defence.
True.
52.
52. So he played less minutes. I feel like in a tighter game, they're not going to win too many games. 32.
Did he have any attacking?
Probably
stats?
has more minutes.
Can you see?
Don't believe so.
Well, he'll have to try taking off him. Keep that in mind. But he should have been higher, but he wasn't.
All in base.
Yeah. So he's good. Still probably a trade in this round. Not the top of my priority list with other second row forwards looking good, but he still could be a trade in this round.
So let's get into bets for this game. To start off with, I have the Bulldogs to win with Kickout and Tracy anytime. I think Kickout is going to absolutely steamroll this Rabbitohs pack. What do you think?
Yeah, so I actually have Souths 1-12 at $3.10 on Bet365.
That's just straight up a shit bet.
Yeah, so for me, if I was going to bet this game, the only way I could play it is Souths because they're 0-3. If you didn't like Souths, I would just not bet the game at all. But because Souths are 0-3, Bulldogs are off a loss. The market's not going to...
Bulldogs off a win.
Bulldogs off a win, sorry, yeah. The market's not going to favour South, so South would be the team to bet on in this spot, just from basic betting logic. But yeah, look, it's definitely, I can definitely see it possible that the Bulldogs win. That's why I do like the Souths 1-12 rather than a line. I think Souths will be gritty and just find a way to get up in this one. Why do you like the Bulldogs?
I think winners win, losers lose. I just cannot see Souths winning this game and going from 1 from 3. I think they go 0 from 4. The Bulldogs have become the dogs of war. I'm telling you that much. I think the Bulldogs are going to get this again. They're going to go 2 from 2, and they're going to be a decent threat this year. And also, there's something rotten at Souths, and I don't know what it is. And until that's fixed, I can't bet on it.
I wish we were filming 2 weeks ago so we could hear your opinion on the Bulldogs before they played the Sharkies and just contrast that with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hated the Bulldogs 2 weeks ago.
I'm a massive hypocrite, do you not realise that?
But yeah, so you're on the Bulldogs, I'm on Souths. Obviously, it was a lot longer odds there.
Don't mind kick out, by the way. Burton's running the ball a lot more lately. Should free up kick out, and they're just going him all the time, and he looks really dangerous.
He does,
and also, left back row running out the right half in Hawkins, who's a rookie.
Yeah, I think it's a good bet there. And then, yeah, that's why I put money on it. So
Yep. We'll jump into the next game now, which is Broncos Cowboys. Bit doing in this game from a Supercoach perspective. Cowboys have been killing it, and they don't have any massive outs in this game. Massive outs for the Broncos though. Reece Walsh out.
yeah, Cora went down in training today, which would have been such a pain to deal with if you didn't know about that.
Yeah,
That's going to suck. And then of course they still have Payne Haas out as well. So there's their two most expensive players.
Well, yeah, two of their more important players there, but Adam Reynolds back.
Adam Reynolds is back. Yeah,
That's massive.
That's massive. But then again, who's their fullback now? Is it Tristan Saylor?
Tristan Saylor. So we'll just go through that now. So Tristan Saylor, I really rate. I think he could easily be a top 5 attacking fullback in the comp if he was playing NRL right now.
But he's not though.
I know, but I'm saying he could be if he was playing consistent NRL. He could be a top 5 attacking fullback. The defensive side might not 100% be there, but I don't think their attack will fall off that far in losing Reece Walsh, because I think Tristan Saylor's an absolute gun. Obviously, Reece Walsh is one of the best fullbacks in the comp. But yeah, I think Tristan Saylor's an elite attacking fullback, so I don't think he's going to do badly at all in that team.
Lots of points in this one then, because the Cowboys just look
Probably.
like they're incapable of not scoring points.
Yeah, I would be interested to see the points line in this one. Can you pull that up?
Yeah, so they don't look like scoring points, you just say?
No, he reckons heaps of points.
Cowboys will score points every week, by the way.
Yeah, the defense is pretty bad as well. So what is the overs lines? What is the line?
Yeah.
Who have you got the Canoes v Grand Island match?
So for this one,
The totals points line is 41.5.
Oh,
That's
I'd be
not that high.
smashing that over. Oh, I think that's guaranteed.
and there's a stat there as well.
That's it.
7 of the last 8 matches between Brisbane and North Queensland have gone over. So
There you
probably
go.
the over is a really good bet in this one. Don't personally have that, but yeah, for when we're talking betting, we can talk a bit more about that. In terms of Supercoach wise, if you had Reece Walsh, obviously you're selling Reece Walsh pretty easy.
Walsh. Yeah.
There's a few options you can go to there. I like Turbo, but I already have Turbo. But yeah, if you have Reece Walsh, you have to sell him. Pia Cora, I'd probably be selling as well. Do you know how long Pia Cora's injury was?
What are your thoughts on Xavier Willison? He's a rookie, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a rookie.
So he could be an option if he plays more than 2 games. But again, that's not really a
He's
guarantee.
already played 1 or 2.
1 game, and he got 50 odd in about 40 minutes. Pretty
Ooh,
good performance.
not bad.
Yeah, so
Not
definitely an option.
That is definitely
Watch for next week.
Yeah.
Still
So-
1 more week till he'll rise in price.
From a betting perspective on that Broncos team,
We're not going. Just talk Supercoach for now.
Pia Cora set to miss up to 4 weeks, by the way.
Yeah, so Pia Cora 4 weeks. I'd be trading him out. Supercoach wise, a lot of people had Chad Townsend. I wouldn't be going anywhere near him, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
they've
what
been-
did Chad?
well, he's cheap, and there's the halfback options at the moment are
I
awful.
guess.
He has had decent scores. I think he's averaging about 60, but you have to think they're 3-0 and he's averaging 60 and they're scoring points for fun. If they're scoring points for fun, you want a half to be scoring 100 plus. Like, you want him averaging 100 plus, and he's not doing that. So I wouldn't be trading to him. In terms of players in the Broncos pack, there's that Jaden Hunt in. Would you be looking at him?
I'd consider him, but at this stage, again, there's so much volatility in that forward pack. It's not really confirmed when some of the players are coming back, so I'd probably stay away from a Broncos rookie at this stage.
Yeah. Definitely at this stage, considering the first game, you probably want to wait until he's played 2 games, and then you can look at bringing him in if you were going to. Willison, do you have an opinion on?
I don't really have an opinion of him. I haven't seen him play much footy, to be honest, so again, like you said, he got 50 or 40 minutes.
That was with a line break, so about 40 odd in base. Pretty good signs.
Look, I would rather wait and see how many minutes he gets, because this forward pack is pretty dog shit, so it wouldn't surprise me if he plays 50-60, but again, I'd rather wait and see with him.
Would you bring in Willison yourself, or?
If you were desperate, but no reason to not just wait 1 more week, so
Yeah,
play 1 more game, so we won't rise price.
100%. And all these trades you're making anyway are dependent on what players you have out. It wouldn't be like, if you had front row forwards out, you could think about bringing Willison, but not many people will have any front row forwards that are out at the moment, so not really an option to think about right now.
I mean, there's another forward that's very relevant on the Cowboys as well, Finafiliaki.
Yes.
Do you have him in your team or no?
So I was tossing up between, last week I was tossing up between this week whether I would go Finafiliaki or Kaipis Paul, because they're both made a little bit of money. Like, I think they're good, cheaper options in the second row there. For myself, I've gone Kaipis Paul because I think Finafiliaki had a try last week and he got
57 with a try and a line break, I think. So just 30 in base.
Yeah. Great. So, and I think he played less. He didn't play the 80. He played 60 odd, whereas Kaipis Paul is playing the high minutes, and this week as well, Dylan Lucas isn't named on the bench, so I think he's a lot more locked in for more points. Yeah, so line break and try for Finafiliaki there with a 57.
Something interesting I found also, he's never played more than 57 minutes in his career, so that probably limits his point scoring a little bit.
Well, he hasn't played more than 57
in first
minutes
grade,
because
or
he hasn't had an opportunity to play.
He was playing last year. He started a fair few games, and he normally gets about 50 minutes at most.
Yeah,
so I don't see that changing too
and
much.
also keep in mind as well that he will probably lose his spot the moment Lukey comes back. And I think,
but the only reason you're training Finafiliaki now is to make money
yeah.
in a short term, and Lukey's out for 8 weeks or something.
He's out for 4 weeks.
No, he's out for more than
8
4
weeks, I think.
8 weeks,
But there's Jezewski on the bench too. He's not playing too bad because he's a rookie. Might be a chance of moving to the bench before Lukey's back even. So I'm not too sure about Finafiliaki, to be honest.
So I mean, if you had heaps of problems in your second row, you could look at Finafiliaki, but for myself, Kai Pearce-Paul's the better trade.
I agree.
There. Ruben Cotter was said to have NRL physio mentioned that Ruben Cotter was supposed to have some injury. Looked like a lateral sprain, but I guess he's all right. That one, just a wait and see. For me, I have him. I don't like. I have him playing at the moment, but I could easily trade him out. So just definitely watch until game day for Ruben Cotter, because he could be a late out for the Cowboys there. So just be careful there. Who do they have on the extended? Not really anyone. They have a lot of
McKaylee.
Yeah, McKaylee. So probably McKaylee comes in there. So just wait and see on Ruben Cotter what happens there.
Is it just me, or does it feel bad that Ballanet's missed out on this squad? I think he's far better than the two wingers, especially Felt, who I feel is only really there so he can break the try scoring record of the club.
Look, he'll probably come in for Felt at some point this year, right? Felt didn't play all the games last year.
No,
so you think Ballanet's better than Murray Talangi?
I think Ballanet's better than Murray Talangi, yeah.
I mean, Murray Talangi's played Origin, I think, and for Australia.
Queensland and Australian winger. But
yeah, but that was like during the period where everyone was playing for Australia, right? Basically, like it was last man standing at that point.
That's probably underrating him a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Sione Matauti has played 2 games for Australia, so...
Talangi's got pedigree, but I agree, there probably should be some pressure on his spot.
There really should be. He's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I think Talangi's been decent this year, to be fair, but...
Yeah. I mean, I've got awesome number 6, that's pretty good.
Tom Dearden, your favourite player?
Yeah, he's pretty awesome, I like him.
Speaking of Kyle Felt, though, Cowboys are favouring that right-hand side. If you can keep a spot in the team, I mean, there's probably a fair few tries in him. They keep going right, especially this game. Look at Broncos.
They didn't score a single try.
Look at Broncos left side.
Last game.
Last game?
Yeah, no, last game they didn't.
Wow.
I don't know why, but they did.
Well, you've shot me down there, Haydos. Well, I think Kyle Felt's a great shout this week, running at Cobbo, Arthurs, Mam, and Hunt on that left-hand side.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, in particular, when it comes to a player I think is going to score is Katoni Staggs. If you look at his career, so he scores a game. According to the stats, he will score a try every, I believe it's 2.1 games.
Yeah,
and he's currently gone 3 games without scoring, so statistically he has to score this game.
Yeah, we'll jump into our betting now. That's not in your bet.
No,
is there a reason for that?
To be fair, I'm thinking about playing a bit safe with this one, so I'm just going cows head to head. I realise you can't have every single bet be some like odd 20 to 1, rough shot, so I'm going to go with a safe cows head to head bet.
Yeah, that's around like $1.90, $1. You probably get $1.90 in certain places.
Yeah, $1.90.
For myself, I've gone Broncos head to head at $2.08 on PointsBet in a same game multi. If you add just any plus line, you can get, and then boost the same game multi, you can get those odds $2.08. This one I haven't jumped on yet, but wait for the game, because just in case there's any late outs, I mean like a Cotter or someone like that, just wait and see. I probably would still play it whether Cotter's in or out.
I think cows will probably firm in a bit as well. Broncos do have that home ground advantage, but also I think the late money will go towards the cows because their forward pack is so much better. Other than like Carrigan, I think they're 1-to-1 better.
Yeah. Can you pull up the teams? Yeah. So there's a few players in there. I mean, I think Tamalolo's passed it, but...
Yeah, other than Lolo, who, again, is not guaranteed minutes. Who knows how much he's going to play. Actually, no, I take that back because he's playing against Fletcher Baker. So, yeah, I would say, apart from Carrigan, they would be 1-to-1 better.
Yeah, probably. Just looking at the players there, I would... Yeah, honestly, I think maybe Tamalolo might be worse than Fletcher Baker. The way
Did you see him play last week? Fletcher Baker is not good. He doesn't.
But Tamalolo's awful. He's been getting like 10 minutes a game. Not
yeah, and I'd still rather him than Fletcher Baker.
I'd rather a fully fit Fletcher Baker than an injured Tamalolo.
This is surely side bet territory, lads.
But anyway, yeah, so side bet territory. I have the Broncos at the moment. So I'll just give a quick reasoning as to why I like the Broncos. Adam Reynolds back in. I mean, I'll side bet voided if Adam Reynolds is out there, because I'm not betting it if Adam Reynolds is out. Adam Reynolds back in is a massive in for them. Cowboys 3-0. Market's not going to miss them. Everyone in the world will be behind the Cowboys now with the way they're playing, the way that they can easily score points. I really rate Tristan Taylor. I think he's very underrated. I think he's going to be a gun when he comes in. I think he's going to absolutely tear it up. Massive fan of his work. Their forward pack the Broncos forward pack, it's not ideal.
It's bad. It's
well,
bad.
no, I'm saying not
it's
ideal.
bad.
Well, not ideal that
They're going to
in
get
that.
steamrolled, bro. They're going to get properly steamrolled.
Well, not in, okay. Not ideal in that. Yeah, like a Payne Haas is out and Flegler's not in the team anymore. That's not great. But like I put a lot of emphasis on the spine and then sort of the extended spine now, which is including the 13. And I think their spine is strong for this game, provided Adam Reynolds plays. Okay. So I wouldn't play it if Adam Reynolds isn't playing, but with Adam Reynolds, I like the Broncos at that price there.
I get that, but I still think it's a shit bet.
Fair enough.
Just
fair enough.
Cows.
We'll take so on the so I'll if I'm going to bet this game, I'll bet it on the day, like within an hour of the game, because that's when sort of the final teams are out. And if we do that and like Reynolds is playing, we're happy to. We'll have another side bet on that one there.
Okay.
Moving on to the next game. So just for this one, it's the Dragons versus Seagulls. Talking outs and Ben Bennett was still that's not a big out, so no massive outs in this game. So it's pretty much
the Dragons have a few big ins. Frankie Molo's in, Jaden Sewer's in, Jacob Little.
Yeah.
I do like that Eisenhuth is still starting. That is an awesome thing from like a Supercoach perspective. I don't know how I picked up on him starting points, but I just thought a former Melbourne forward is going to get decent minutes wherever he goes. So.
Do you know what he scored last week?
He scored like 40 or something. Not great. But
off the bench though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was off the bench.
Yeah. That's pretty good, picking up a role in the starting team.
I think, but last week he was also named to start, and then
they switched him
last minute, so that could happen again. So
DeBellin on the bench.
So that could easily happen again. That's a wait and see on that.
Just remember the moral Supercoach player does not have DeBellin in his team.
True. Why is that, Hayden?
I don't think we can go on to speak about that on the podcast.
Well, you brought up, what did you bring up last week? Josh Curran.
Yeah, Josh Curran.
You don't want to talk about DeBellin, no, that's fine. We don't have to go into that.
Yeah. No comment.
Supercoach wise, so the obvious is Tommy Trbojevic. How do you think he goes this week against the Dragons?
He could carve up very easily, or he could have a very quiet game.
Yeah, I've got him captain myself in this game. I just think Manly, current team list, Manly are a top 2 team in the comp for me.
No, so they're not a top 2 team in the comp. What do you want about?
Because
where is this coming from?
So this is my logic, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at a Penrith team without Cleary. You're looking at a Parramatta team without Mitch Moses, and then I would say the other top 2 team is the Roosters. Who's better? So
Cows.
Taking out
Cowboys.
So I would, if I had to pick a team right now, Cowboys, Manly. I would take Manly, in my opinion.
Okay.
So I would say that they're slightly better than the Cows. Not much better, but I would say they're slightly better than the Cows at the moment, Manly. So.
I guess when you look at it that way, there is that many injury-riddled teams that Manly are basically like the last man standing.
Yeah, so there's a few, obviously if Cleary's playing for Penrith are a better team in my opinion, but there's enough injuries in certain teams that I think they're a top 2 team in the comp right now. I think Tommy Trbojevic is the guy for your captaincy. Okay,
I get that, I see that, but I still think this Manly team, if they get a lot of points scored on them, at least probably within the second 20 minutes of the game, they will capitulate and they just cannot cut back. So again, this game is going to be the game of 2 fast starters who collapse afterwards. So will one team collapse harder than the other in the second 20 minutes? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. Yeah, I mean, well, it's a wait and see, I guess. What do you think? What do you see for a final score in this game then? I think what will happen is one team will go ahead by 14 to 18, and the other team will come back and score 30 points. So you could see, right? So you either think either team you could see going up by 18 and then the other team will come back later.
There is a market for any team to score 3 consecutive tries or something. In these sort of games, I don't mind that. Yeah, these 2 teams are very sort of emotional. They concede a lot of tries and then they score a few on the back of that. As soon as something bad goes their way, they get a bad ref call, I can see the team collapsing, and like we've seen the last couple of weeks, what'll end up happening is teams will pile a couple of tries on them. Yeah. And they just find it really hard to get back in the game after that. Yeah. Just back to Supercoach, sorry. I'm bringing in Luke Brooks. You're also bringing in Luke Brooks. I'm bringing in Luke Brooks as well. I feel like it's a must do at this point. Why is it a must do for you? Because he's been unleashed.
True.
He's finally been
Unleashed
unleashed.
dog. For me, it's not a must do, but with the Cleary injury, I'm bringing him in because I have Hines. I think just a serious lack of options in the halfback position. You could look at someone like a Benny Hunt or a Townsend, but I'm not a fan of either of those. Benny Hunt has had the benefit of a good draw so far, and then same with Townsend. So both those players have benefited from their team going decently. So I'm not a massive fan of them. Luke Brooks looks good, genuinely looks good from how he's playing. I think they have Penrith next week actually, and I think he actually has a good record against Penrith, which is weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I don't know if just because he has a good record against Penrith means he's going to score points again next week.
I know, but I'm more saying even though you might be scared of him against Penrith, he might still go okay. So that's a wait and see, I guess. I think Cleary also out for that game next week, so that's
fair enough.
It's
down
not as bad
his
as
left side.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it seems for Luke Brooks in that fixture. So yeah, I'm bringing him in. I just think he's the best of a bad bunch at the moment. Is why I'm bringing him in.
Fair play. What do you guys think about Burbo? I think he only got 19.
Yeah, what's wrong with him?
It's a bit of a cock tease after 70 odd in round 1. Eh?
Well, also that was very attacking on stacked as well, so it doesn't really help.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people did see that happening from Burbo and have kind of been fooled by the Trbojevic forward curse. Can we talk about the fact that Gerbo ran, I think he had 7 total runs for 46 metres? Is that the most sluggish thing we've ever heard of?
Plotter.
Yeah. Absolute plotter, yeah.
Yeah, no, but so for myself, for Burbo this game, I'm still playing him just because he's playing just because he's playing the Dragons. Yeah. So I've been playing him through this. If he was playing a different team, I would definitely look. To be honest, I might think about not playing him, but my other option is Strange. So it's a tough call. But yeah, no, this will probably be something that comes down to sort of on the day whether I actually do play him or not. I just love him in this fixture. That would be the reason for playing him, but.
Yeah,
I could definitely understand people not wanting to play him.
Yeah.
You boys playing him or?
I'm going to keep him in the team because I think the people we're playing against in our league will probably also do the same. And I know that you are, so I'm kind of hoping everyone else does as well.
Fair enough.
You got to have sometimes you just got to play what everyone else plays.
Fair enough.
I got more depth than that, lads. He's nowhere near my 17.
Ooh,
fair enough.
Big boy.
And then sort of talking Supercoach relevancy. I guess some people might have kept Little.
What do you guys think of Kyle Flanagan? He scored, I think, 50 first game, had a quiet one, and then he went off last week. But that was mainly because he scored a try.
But it's the Dragons did well, then poorly, then alright last game as well. So.
I think he's priced at his average now. You probably got 50k out of him if you started with him, and that's as good as you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to keep that. There's the 21 score.
21.
If you think that's an outlier, then
I don't know.
It's one of the worst moves. He's got tries in there, though. So I mean, I definitely wouldn't be going to him. There's a very obvious better option in Lockie Galvin.
Yeah, that game he had against the Dolphins is shocking, though.
Yeah, but they got pumped. So
exactly.
He's definitely going to be bad. I think he's better than the 21 and worse than the 71. So I wouldn't be going him.
Zachary Lomax, what are your thoughts on him? Is he not one of the more informed wingers in the comp at the moment?
He looks good. To be fair, he looks really good in that game.
He's also his boot has come back so well. I don't know why it was going on last year where for some reason he was coached to kick differently and his kicking went down the drain. But now he's finally doing well. He's kicking well. He's playing well as a winger, even though he hates it apparently. I think could be a decent pick, even though 600k.
Yeah, for mine he would have gone up, but he's getting to the point where you're almost priced out of him. So if you were going to go him, I would go him probably this week.
688k maybe not.
Yeah, and he'll keep going, right? Because he's got 100 odd in his score last round, so he'll keep going up.
Break even at 57.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, but you got to think where his scores are, right? So he's 98. If he goes all right this round, the 44 will fall out of his rolling average.
Yeah.
So he could keep pushing still.
There you go. He's projected to make good money in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. So he could keep pushing still, but it really depends how it goes this round. I think if you want him, I would go him right now. But I don't want him, right? Like, I'm just scared. Like, the Dragons had probably one of the best fixture runs to start the season out of any team. And, like, as soon as they hit hard fixtures, I'm scared of where they end up. To be fair, they have decent fixtures. They have Arsenal, Tigers, Warriors, not worst game over, but Roosters, Sharks. It's not the worst run of fixtures, to be fair.
It's pretty good.
But, yeah, I don't know. I'm just scared in that I don't think the Dragons are, like, a strong team anyway, and a lot of his stats rely on attacking.
What I would say is, they didn't score a point against the Dolphins, right? 44 points, all in base. He's a goal kicker. That should be as bad as he goes, nearly, if he keeps putting the effort in.
True.
They're kicking to his wing all the time as well. He's really good in the air. I think there's just a lot of ball for him this
My
year.
favourite thing about Lomax is he chases so hard.
Yeah,
he is the only guy on the team who will be absolutely running out, bolting at that player for the ball. Sometimes it will lead to missed tackles, but at the same time,
36 points. 36 points of hit-ups in that game. So, definitely an option that people can look at. I'm just not looking at players in that centre wingers in that price point with the makeup of my team at the moment. Like, I'm not looking to trade to those type of players, so it's not really a player I can go to. But if for example, if you're doing that, you're moving Hutchinson up, and then you're going to, like, you want to bring in a centre winger and you got a lot of money, definitely could be an option there. But not for myself. In terms of that's probably all the main talking points. We'll jump into our bets for yourself.
So I am a Zach Lomax dick rider. I think the Dragons will win this one. I think that Manly are a bit overrated, so I'm going Dragons, Lomax anytime, and Lomax 10 plus points. So with that try, that means he's going to kick at least 3 goals, and that is at 550.
Yeah, for myself, I did mention, like, I think Manly are a top 2 team in the comp with the current makeups of teams. So if I was going to play it, I'd have to play Manly. I think Manly minus 8.5. You can get around $1.97. It's not a bad bet. I'm not 100% sold on that as my best bet, but if I was going to play it, that's definitely the way I play it. That'll be something that I'd post in the spreadsheet, probably game day, if I do end up playing that. If I was going to lean one way, that would be the way I lean.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so we've got the next game now, which is the Titans v the Dolphins, the North Queensland Derby. So what are your thoughts on this from a Supercoach perspective?
Yeah, so Keeney out, JC comes into the fullback. That's a massive in for the Titans, but then obviously the massive out is Tino there, right? I think probably their best player or close to their best player. So he goes through so much work for them. So that's huge out. Like you mentioned, massive implication on the rest of their season. That's why you're betting against them for the season. Supercoach wise, if you just scroll back to the rest of the team.
David Fafita named 18th man as well.
18th man as well.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
So that's possibility to play. That would have big ramifications on, like, betting and stuff if he does get named, because he's a freak, like he's an absolute gun. So.
I think the biggest player for me in this team, Supercoach wise, would probably be Jack Bostock. He is probably one of the larger cash cows coming into this season.
Yeah.
He's done okay so far. What do you think of it?
Yeah, to be fair, in pre-season I hated him because he got through no work.
Yeah.
Just didn't look like he had, like, a good floor at all. Last game they played, he looked really good though. Yeah, I think he had like try assists and other. Like, I thought he was going to rely solely on tries to get points. I think he had a try assist, or he had other points. I'm not exactly certain, but he definitely had other ways of making points other than tries in his last game. So there's some merit to him, but for mine, I would just be waiting until I think he's peaked in price and then be selling him. So you're obviously holding him for now because he hasn't made any money because they had to buy. You could be looking at buying him, look, to be honest, he's not the worst option in centre wing for this round to be buying. Negative 24 break even. So he's going to make money, like, guaranteed. Yeah. I'm playing him this week just because I have a bit of a lack of depth in the centre wing position. Are you going to play him?
I think I have to be honest. I've got the same problem where I think centre wing is probably my weakest link at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't really have that many. I don't think I've got a single gun there actually, outside of Mulatalo.
Yeah.
So I'll probably have to end up playing him.
Yeah. I'm playing him because like I mentioned, the Strange would be the first one that I wouldn't be playing. If they weren't playing the Titans, I would very seriously consider playing Strange instead. But just because they're playing the Titans, if there's a game that he's going to have a higher upside, I think this would be the one for Boastor. What about yourself? Any you higher on him pre-season, Adam?
Yeah, I just think there's enough tries in him in the first couple of months to make enough money. His floor isn't the best, like you said, but I don't think it matters. I'm playing him this week. I think he scores a try or gets some attacking returns for sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can't really ever guarantee a player's going to score a try, but you can just sort of hedge your bets. A game where they're playing a poorer team is when you probably want to play those.
Would I rather bet that Burbo's going to score a try, or would I rather bet a winger is? That's kind of where I'm at.
They're priced for a certain reason. One big thing I did notice as well is Isaiah Katoa is named at 7.
Yeah, I thought Sauce was out because he was having a kid, and I heard, but he's still in the reserves.
I think he was dropped. What I heard is that he was actually dropped, and I rated him pretty decent. As far as sevens go, I rated him pretty highly, at least higher than Isaiah Katoa. So I'm a bit surprised by that. In terms of Supercoach relevancy,
Max Plath is a guy who's a pretty big cheapie. Could he possibly be an option? Do you think?
For me, yes, but if he was playing a different position, if you look on Supercoach, he's in the 5'8", so it's Lockie Galvin and then your gun 5'8" is the two players you're going to have there. So I haven't really even thought about him at all, but if he wasn't playing in that 5'8", or listed in 5'8" in Supercoach, you could think about it. But outside of that, you can't really look at him, in my opinion.
Another player of note as well is Josh Kerr. Did he score 100 plus points or something in round 1 or something insane like that?
Yeah, for me, he's so if you're going to bring in Josh Kerr, this would be the week because this is when his price goes up. I'm not. I just don't see his upside being that high.
I think he's only got 40s in him. 76 round 1.
Yeah, 76.
Yeah.
With a try. I don't know how many tries he has in him.
Yeah.
Try and line break.
Even if he's averaging, so he got 48. Even if he's averaging 48, he'll make a bit of money. But it's not great that his better score was in round 1 because that's the first one to drop out of the rolling average.
Yeah.
So I'm not really looking at him. I just also don't really trust exactly what they're doing with their middle rotation there. Not one for me.
So what are your thoughts on Chris Randall starting? Do you think he's a really ineffective hooker for them or no?
I think he's fine. When he's at the Knights, he's like a tackle bot. So.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with this. He's still a tackle bot. Do you think a tackle bot is... Well, from a Supercoach perspective, that's a good thing, right? You'd want someone... If it's a losing team, would Chris Randall not be making tackle after tackle after tackle?
They have Verrills on the bench.
Yeah, that does make a problem. I mean, what happened if Sam Verrills went down again? Would Chris Randall be an automatic pick if he plays?
Yeah, but these are all situations. Sure, you could entertain Randall if there was no if he was guaranteed 80 and his price was at a point where you could get him. But these are all just what if situations.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to think ahead of the game, though.
True. Bo Fermo was the one that a lot of people had. If you had him, would you be holding or?
I would probably hold, to be honest. What do you think?
I think he scored decently last week, considering they lost.
53 last week, all in base. He did pretty good. Just the one thing to note, if Fafita comes back into that side, Famore's probably going to go back to the right side.
Yeah.
And a big appeal was that he was on the left with Foran.
Yeah.
Not a priority trade, I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Pretty good last week, but probably looking to move him on soon.
Yeah. Not this week for mine. I've got him and I'm holding him. It's a bit annoying, but not a trade this week for mine, but maybe look at next week.
Yeah. Minutes in that middle though without Tino, you'd think. I've held on to Palacia this whole time, not really because I wanted to, but he could end up being a benefactor of that.
What's his
starting
price?
Front row.
What's his price?
He fell down to about 300.
Yeah. So wait till he's got did he have a bad score last round?
His still break even is about 55, so he probably has another drop in him.
Yeah.
He's only played 2 games. Sorry.
So 22 and a 29. Yeah. So he's not going to make. So definitely a watch. You definitely don't need to trade him this week, but you probably don't even need to trade him next week because he'll still have that those poor scores in his average.
Yeah, one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, so one to keep an eye on for sure.
Jolliffe too, potentially. Just someone's got to pick up some minutes there, you think?
Yeah, you think so?
Just watch the whole pack, to be honest. Like, watch the whole middle rotation.
Yeah.
To see what happens with that one. Not too much else Supercoach relevant.
No, I don't think so.
Let's talk bets.
Yeah, so I think this Titans team is going to absolutely fold. I'm going Dolphins 13 plus, and Hammer, he had an awful game first round. Second, he looks like an absolute god that we know he can be. I'm going to go Hammer and then Bostock anytime try scorer to get the Dolphins 13 plus at 9.25.
Yeah, so for myself, I don't have a bet on this game. If I was going to play it, like logically from a betting standpoint, because the Titans have been so bad, you'd have to play the Titans if you're going to play that. But I just don't rate the Titans at all. And especially with that Tino out, I don't rate the Titans.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I'm not playing the Titans, and why I can't play the Dolphins, because, you know, Dolphins are just off a massive win. So in everyone's mind, they're thinking, oh, the Dolphins are elite, and then they obviously think the Titans are the worst team in the comp. So just logically, from a betting standpoint, it doesn't make sense to play the Dolphins, but it also doesn't make sense to play the Titans with the big out there and just like have no faith that they're going to be good.
I think you're thinking ahead of yourself a bit too much. You're trying to, from this, I think you just need to go Dolphins. I think you're kind of trying to think against the people too hard instead of thinking about what's actually going to this team, in that the Titans are just shit.
Yeah, I mean, that average punter doesn't make money long term though. I'm not playing it because I do think the Titans are bad, but I can't play it just based on my betting logic.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, fair enough.
Anything to
Any thoughts?
No, I think that one's an easy fade for me as well. Probably looking at the Titans, but definitely not without Tino there. And it's just not a spot I'd want to get on the Dolphins.
Yeah. Next game of the round. Warriors Knights in New Zealand. Is it in?
It's at Go Media.
Go Media, yeah.
What the hell is that? Go Media.
That's
what?
That's their main stadium.
So what? The Old Mount Start Stadium.
Yeah, they have a good record at that stadium. So, obviously out is Tane Tuapiki for the Warriors. Chancellor Clodstad's still out.
But what is really interesting is Roger Tuivasa-Sheck at fullback.
Yeah.
That's a horny fullback battle, lads.
Yeah. I mean,
Pong v Roger.
Yeah, that'll be massive. If you got Roger, you're cheering to see him at fullback in Supercoach wise.
Skipper on Roger.
Yeah, not the worst shout. You mentioned that earlier, and I might be thinking about it now, but I like Tommy, but yeah, it could be a shout. I don't know if I can go against the Knights with my skipper, but definitely a shout there.
Other than that, the only real two big outs for Newcastle is, of course, Leo Thompson after that incident, which I genuinely think is totally unfair, that he's been suspended for a week for essentially trying to catch a ball.
What a fucking joke.
Keep in mind as well, the Warriors game, was it not Rapiner taking out the fullback's legs with the exact same problem? And he didn't even get suspended for it. Not even a penalty. I just want consistency. I'd be okay with it being a suspension if Rapiner got a suspension as well. But no, there's no consistency at all.
To me, the easy way to decide it is, are you looking at the ball or are you not? And he's clearly looking at the ball the whole time. He's clearly looking at the ball. He's trying to catch on his chest, so he's got his arms like this, and then Pappenhausen jumps over him late and then collects him in the head, therefore essentially doing like a front hit. Yeah.
That's so frustrating to me.
Yeah. Just Supercoach wise, how these teams are affected. So Roger, I would think, gets more points. The Knights, so people will still have Ponga. Do we think Ponga's back, or?
He had one good half of football, I think, in my opinion. I captained him, and I will keep him captain until essentially the earth dies, because the moment I don't captain him, he scores 150.
Yeah, so you're captaining Ponga again this week?
I will keep him captaining, and I'm just stuck with him. It's a sunk cost fallacy at this point.
Yeah. So I traded him out, and Latrell ended up doing awfully last week anyway, so not stoked about that, but I don't see Ponga going massive in this game, especially in New Zealand. Like, I can't really see a massive score in him, but, you know, like, he definitely can pull games out of nowhere, so, it's possible, but I don't see him going big.
Yeah, fair enough. The other big in as well is Jaden Brayley. Do you think he gets more minutes this week?
How many minutes did he get last week?
I think about 20. He came on about the 60th minute and played for the rest of the game.
Yeah, possibly could get more minutes. I don't see much Supercoach relevancy for him.
Because it's more so it's about 300,000. So if someone really did want to, have a cheapie on the hooker,
but I'm saying I don't see much Supercoach relevancy because he's probably not scoring massively to justify that price.
No.
I mean, the only real other Supercoach relevant players in this game would be Kai Pearce-Paul.
Yep.
And Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson's been pretty quiet.
Well, it's not ball kicking.
Yeah, true. What's going on there? Has he got a leg problem? Or?
Yeah, so you mentioned Kai Pearce-Paul. Kai Pearce-Paul's a trade-in for me. I just want to talk about him quickly. So no Lucas on the bench. If it remains that way, looks really good.
I wouldn't hold your breath, though. Adam O'Brien tends to drop players in and out of the team last minute, so don't hold your breath.
Doesn't matter. He was on the bench last week, and you know what happened?
Yeah.
Kai Pearce-Paul played 80 because Frizzell moved to the middle.
Yeah.
So I think they're all in on KPP.
Yeah. He's a weapon. I love him.
Yeah, so I'm definitely all in on Supercoach wise on KPP. I'm trading him in for William Fifita because I can do that with bringing him in.
William Fifita?
Yeah,
I still got it, bro.
Yeah.
I still have him in my team. I can't be playing him.
Just love a 10 points from your AE.
Well, I mean, I traded him out now. So Kai Pearce-Paul is in for me. I think he's probably the biggest trade-in of the round. In terms of players that I wanted to trade in most, is Kai Pearce-Paul would be the number one.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to trade out, or you have to make trades around players that are out, like a Cleary or a Moses or someone like that. So there's other players that you can are going to be highly traded in, but for me, the player I want the most is Kai Pearce-Paul at the moment.
59 in base last week, 80 minutes, 2 weeks in a row.
Massive, yeah. No, so stoked about that 67, and that highest score is in his rolling average for the longest time. So it's great.
He's just a big motherfucker too. He's going to score a try.
Yeah. He's going to score one eventually. Yeah, he's not going to Ryan Hall it. There's no way he doesn't go home without scoring a try.
Dragons round 5. Get him in before that. He could score a double that week.
No, true.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if not this week, next week for sure.
Yeah, no. So another big if for Newcastle will be their halves. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is because of how well Price and Hastings did in New South Wales Cup.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Jackson Hastings had 5 try assists.
Yeah, 5 try assists. Pretty insane game. And
insane.
Price...
Will Price had the equivalent of 115 Supercoach points in that game. Scored a double himself.
Yeah.
And set up had a bunch of line breaks. I honestly think that we've got the wrong half list. We should switch the halves combo, bring Gamble and Cogger to Cup, and play the 2 Price and Hastings instead.
You wouldn't consider like a Cogger and a Hastings or someone like that?
I think Cogger and Hastings are too similar a player. They're both organising halves, and I think they just step on each other's toes. Yeah. And we kind of saw that in the round 1 game against Canberra, where both players, and Crossland as well, didn't know what to do, so they kind of all just tried to hold on to the ball because they were kind of, too many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah.
For me, Hastings, I think he might be fully fit. I briefly watched the highlights of the New South Wales Cup, and it's hard to tell from the highlights how he's going, but if he's fully fit, I would be playing him for sure. Yeah. He's a gun for mine.
I think Gamble is probably our biggest problem in the halves at the moment. I'd rather get him out than...
Yeah, it's hard. He was obviously gun at the end of last year, so you have to give him some leniency, but it's how much leniency do you give?
Yeah, exactly.
What you do with the halves from there. I think it's unlikely that AOB will go Price. I think if anything, he'll go Cogger Hastings, but
Price is probably... I don't think he'll get a game till sort of Origin period at least. I think it's a bit too early for him.
What you think that Tyson Gamble and Jack Cogger are going to play for the Blues? In Queensland respectively, but...
No, I just don't think this early on in the season you bring such a raw
true.
bloke into your halves when you've got other options.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but sometimes you just bring a gun in,
Yeah. Wade Egan back in is good for the Warriors.
That's good for them.
He's always named though, just watch that, he might
Freddie Lussick in the 14 there. So in terms of Supercoach wise...
Still no Dylan Walker as well.
Yeah, still no Dylan Walker. In terms of Supercoach wise, Kai Pearce-Paul's the big one. Dylan
Walker
on the
17.
Nice.
Back this week, yeah.
You know what happened? You cut off at 16. I didn't see his name.
Nice. But yeah, Kai Pearce-Paul definitely in. Aside from that, nothing. Roger.
Yeah, Roger.
Captain option, definitely.
Yeah.
we'll talk best bets for this game.
Yeah. So I want to bet on Newcastle, but I think we'll probably lose, and I feel like I can't be that biased. So I'm going Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, Pong, and KPP anytime try scorers at 29.75.
Yeah, nice. For me, I'm not playing I generally try and stay away from Knights games in terms of betting on them, just because I don't want any subconscious bias to overcome my thinking.
Smart thinking.
Last game I did, obviously, that's my best bet last week was the Knights, but I got on them early, and in knowing that there was players out for the Storm, and we still didn't look that good. We just got up, so definitely can't play the Knights this round. If I was going to play someone, it would be the Warriors, but don't really want to go against the Knights, so I'm just not betting on the game.
Fair enough, and I respect that completely. There is no worse feeling than betting on betting against your team.
Yeah.
Even if you know they're going to do shit, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. Like the Warriors yourself?
I do like the Warriors, yeah. They don't tend to blow teams out, so probably a Warriors 1-12, and they also start really fast, so maybe a Warriors to score first, or Warriors first half line, something like that. Definitely wouldn't be playing the Knights this game.
Yep. Sharks Raiders next game. Supercoach wise,
That Sharks pack is absolutely not well.
Like at this point in the season, the Sharks pack could be one of the worst with all the outs that they have, and the Raiders pack could honestly be one of the best with all the, because they could have Horsburgh come back, even though he's
Corey Horsburgh is named at 19, and he's probably one of their best forwards.
Yeah,
and that's so strange to me. What is going on there?
Even though he isn't listed, Corey Horsburgh could come back this round. They have a very, very strong forward pack, so it'll be a weird game, like Supercoach and betting wise, because I feel like the Raiders forward pack will dominate the Sharks forward pack, but the Sharks have all those guns in the outside backs, and obviously Nico Hines in there as well. So their back line could be far better than the Raiders back line. So it's interesting. I don't know exactly how that will affect the game Supercoach wise, but I do have thoughts on a betting standpoint.
So just to take a step back, the reason the Raiders should dominate through the middle, Sharks are missing Hamlin, ULA, Rudolph, Royce Hunt, and Dale Finucane.
And aren't they also missing
Nikora in the
Nikora,
back row too? But that's 4 middles.
Yep.
They're playing Talakai in the second row. That's
Talakai has played second row, but
but
like definitely Nikora, probably their best forward, still out.
They've got T. Wilton still. He's a good player, but there is no depth to that. Your interchange consists of Atkinson, Williams, Billy Burns, and Tapua.
I think he's that bloke. Yeah,
there's raps on him. Tuku.
Yeah, Tuku. Yeah, he's supposed to be alright, but like they just definitely don't have the depth in the forward pack that the Raiders do.
The fact that they are comfortably have a better forward pack without Big Red is insane to me.
Yeah. Talking Supercoach relevancy, the big one, Nico Hines.
Yeah, Nico Hines. What's going on with him this year? Is he just not getting enough ball from Trindle, or do you think he's just kind of had like maybe a 1-2 season wonder kind of player?
No, I think he's still a gun. He's just maybe not seeing enough of the ball. For mine, I was looking actually at trading him out. It hasn't really worked out that way because Cleary is out, and like I sort of already mentioned, I don't see heaps of really good options in the halfback position. I brought in Brooks, and then outside of Brooks, I don't really love anyone else in the halfback position. So he's staying in there for now, just because there's not a lot of options. So it's just sort of a hope and pray that he does well, but I don't really expect big things.
It's a weird one where he's probably still going to drop value and underperform, but at the same time could be the top scoring halfback.
Yeah.
It's like I want to trade him out, but he's probably going to be the most points. So get the most points. So why would I bother?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he could still easily knock out like a 65 and then be like just as good, if not better than like the other halves in the comp. So I'm just holding for now. Do you have Nico?
No, I don't have Nico. I'm probably going to wait a couple of weeks and see if he goes down in value before purchasing him.
Yeah, fair enough.
I didn't start with him. I didn't have the money to have 2 gun halves, so I only had 1 in Cleary. So from there, I'm happy to wait.
Yep.
Yeah. So another big in though is Kyle Euro. He's debuting for the Sharks.
Yeah. Do
you think would you consider getting him now, or would you rather wait to see if he holds down a spot?
Yeah, definitely not now. Like you'd have to think that some of that forward pack comes back. I mean, I think
Nicola 2-week extension.
Yeah. So he'll be back next week. So Talakai will be back for the centres, but he's definitely one to watch. Like it's not out of the realm of possibility that he has an amazing game and then I don't know, they try and play like a Talakai off the bench and then he keeps the spot. So it's a one to watch, but definitely not looking at trading him. Right now, for that Sharks team as well,
Yeah,
you brought in Hazelton?
I brought in Hazelton because, again, I think he's going to hold down that forward spot for at least 4 weeks. He's an explosive player, and it was so fun to watch him come off the bench last year. Like, he scored a decent amount of tries for a prop, which is kind of funny to think about. But so basically, I am going to hope that he gets at least 60 minutes this game, and I think he'll get 60 minutes minimum for the next 3 or 4 games.
So what are we looking at? So round 6, because they have a bye round 5.
Yeah.
So that does hurt Hazelton a little bit because these players get an extra week to rest. So you can see like around 6 for Finucane, around 8 for Hunt, Rudolph, Hamlin, ULA, TBC. I think he'll definitely stay in the team.
Yeah.
I don't know about 60 minutes for the next 4 weeks.
I think it's a decent shout.
It's probably, by the looks of that, players coming back round 8, it's probably like a 3-week play.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that, to be honest. I think 600k, maybe 4 or 5. He's at 400k now. I think he'll have a chance to get to 600.
Especially with that big score in his rolling average. What did he get, like a 90 or something?
Yeah.
That will help. Yeah, that'll help his break even. For me, I'm not looking at him because I think it's
Break even
like
at 2.
I think it's at best a short-term play. So I'm a bit scared of that. But if you're thinking about it, even if his break even's 2, it's really lower than that because he has a 44 and a 26. Once that 26 rolls out of his average, so he'll make a lot more than other players at that 2 break even over the next 3 weeks. So you don't necessarily consider it just to be a 2 break even. But yeah, for me, I'm still not going in because I can't see him being an option massively long term. And also, I mean, I don't need players in that position anyway. So, but yeah.
Fair. But how fun is a try scoring prop though? I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have attack in him. That's why I don't mind him, but it's only a short-term play, really.
Yeah. If anything, a short-term play. So in terms of the Sharks, I don't really like bringing in anyone else there. Ronaldo, what did he score last week?
Absolutely awful score.
No, it was almost 50 all in base. He's basing really well.
I was regretting it actually. So what ended up happening was I looked at my phone at the 60-minute mark and saw he scored 28 points, thinking, why did I bring him in last round? I then look at the phone.
Line break.
Yeah, then he got a line break right at the end and some junk time, which saved me so much.
Yeah. So
46 in base, like there's going to be games where he doesn't score a try. 46 in base is not bad at all.
Yeah.
But you have to consider his price point. I definitely wouldn't be looking to trade him in now, especially with the
projected
with the buy.
38.
Well, especially with the buy. Like, if you had him now, like you'd obviously be disappointed with the 56 because you would have expected, if you bring him in, you would have expected him to score against the Tigers. So it's disappointing, but he's just a hold for him.
Yeah.
So that's I'm like all the rest of these extra forwards that have picked up game time in this Sharks team.
They seem like traps.
Well, you don't need to bring them in. Like it's like a lot of these players won't have played a game, so they're not going to make money in the short term, which is the only time you would want to look at them. So you don't need to worry about them.
Interestingly, I think I probably owe you a little bit of an apology. Did you end up bringing Hosking in?
I did.
Yeah. Well, he got 60 minutes off the bench in the end, so I guess everyone's saying Ricky really rates him and he'll find his way to get some minutes is probably correct.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'd want to be playing someone coming off the bench, but he got 45 in 60 minutes. He's going to make a stack of cash. Really wasn't the worst trade in.
Yeah, not too bad.
He's still going to make a little bit of money, but it's still a short-term play.
Still a short-term play for me.
In a couple of weeks,
My plan is to go back to Hardy Young. I think he is an incredible forward, especially that 50 value. 500k value. What are you looking up, Zadie? So I really rate Hardy Young, especially because I just think he's just one guy who's got that mongrel in him. And he also has decent attacking stats as well. Like, he's good for a try maybe every 4 or 5 games minimum.
Yeah, just going from the top of their team, James Schillerin not an option this week because he hasn't played any games yet. Xavier Savage would be the one to look at. He's at, what's he at now?
390?
Yeah, 400 odd.
Break even at 10.
Definitely a trade-in option. It depends on how you think the Raiders go, though, right? He's a winger. So if you think the Raiders are not going to be strong moving forward, then he's not a trading option, right? But if you think they are going to be strong, then he is. I personally not going in because I don't need someone in the wing. Well, because I'm not trying to trade someone out in the wing position. For mine, there is slightly better options. Well, not this week. This week he's probably one of your better options. Or a Bostock, because he hasn't made money. Bostock hasn't gone up yet. Next week, you can watch on a Blaze Talangi. If he keeps his spot, or he should keep his spot, right? He's playing 6, and Moses will be out for a bit of time. So it'd be Blaze Talangi next week, number 1 best option, but then a Xavier Savage, decent option this week. What do you think of Xavier Savage? Do you rate him?
Well, I started with Xavier Savage. I originally had my team had, I think, 4 Raiders backs. Then I found out which ones were starting, and then I kind of stayed with them from there.
Yep.
So I had Chotrich to start. I had Xavier Savage. I had Ethan Strange, and I think who's the other half they were considering using?
Weeks.
Kyle Weeks, yeah. So I found out Kyle Weeks wasn't starting. I dropped him, and then I traded Chotrich a bit earlier as well.
Yep. Chotrich as well.
He'll be gone. Hopewadi's to come back in.
Yeah, speaking of, did you see what happened to Albert Hapawade? So he's out this week because he burnt himself at a barbecue.
Right, that.
Bit of the Glenn Maxwell's about him.
Yeah, true.
That's pretty funny, all the injuries, and then he just has it. He burnt himself at a barbecue.
My favourite injury still has to be like the absolute paper, like glass bones, like legend that is the why am I blanking on his name? The centre, Croker. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he once injured himself because he was reaching for his TV remote.
That's a real old man injury.
That is dead set an old man injury. So anyway, when it comes to betting, I think the Raiders are this season have finally broken their winning curse where they can only win close games. I think this one, the Raiders will end up absolutely dominating through the middle and end up getting a ton of points. So I'm going Raiders 13+, Savage and Young anytime. And then I'm also going Jamal Fogarty 6+ points, so at least 3 converted goals. Together that is 29.
$29 odds. Yeah, so for myself, I got on early the Raiders +6.5 because there was news of all those Sharks forwards being out. So luckily I got that at $1.90 odds. You can get that around $1.72 as mentioned earlier. I would also take the Raiders +4.5. I like the Raiders because of all of those massive outs. I also like how the Raiders are playing right now. They're playing very well. Even though I did like the Warriors last week, the Raiders actually did look pretty good. Almost beat that line. And they're off a loss as well. So teams off a loss are extra motivated to win. And I think Ricky will get them up for this one.
We got a bit of alignment here, boys.
For once, yeah.
Finally.
We agree on.
Well, when the head and the heart agree, you got to jump on.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you're on the Raiders this week, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
watch the Sharks win.
Yeah, probably. Now that we're aligned, the Sharks
finally.
probably win 13+.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at the final game of the round, which is, by the way, on Easter Monday. So if you're surprised there's no 3 o'clock Saturday game, this is why.
Yep.
Best day of the year, lads. April Fool's Day.
No, true.
My birthday.
True.
Yeah, Tigers 13+.
I have Tigers +12.5, so...
I do have Tigers. I think I have Tigers to win straight out. Right,
we'll get into that later. Let's talk team news. So biggest out, obviously, Mitch Moses.
Yeah, and actually second biggest because Alex Tall's out. But
True.
Can you
physically?
Can you finally?
Physically, yeah.
Can you believe he finally scored his first try last year though? How funny was that?
How great that for him.
Yeah. I mean, he scored it in round 2, then was taken off for an offside.
True.
Yeah.
How do you think Mitch Moses being out affects the Eels team?
I think Mitch Moses has this kind of aura about him where he kind of helps the players along, even if he's not having a great game himself. I think he's a very structured player, but he's also willing to go against that structure to get the team over the line. I'm very interested, though, to see if Dylan Brown can keep that structure to that team that they need.
So you think he's very structured, but also not very structured?
I'm a hypocrite, yeah.
Rate that. Dylan Brown in the 7 jersey will be interesting to see how he goes. Talangi slots in there. It's an interesting watch. could be anything. Talangi looked unreal last week.
Yeah.
Ran over Tommy Turbo, so.
And he's a fullback. I think he much prefer to play 6.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get his hands on the ball a bit more than stuck out in the centres. So
Yep.
I'm really liking that Morgan Harper's now playing at centre instead of wing.
Yeah. I mean, he is a centre naturally. I think it's a little bit out of place.
left edge doesn't look so vulnerable this week with Harper and Sivo there.
Yeah. I mean, Sivo's not really that great in defence, but
They've had a banged up edge. Like Harper on the wing last week was just
That
not
was-
it.
that
I know
was bad.
Sivo isn't
That was
the world's best defender, but I
it's better
think
than
it's a bit better.
So Tigers obviously had a bye. So if you want to bring in Tigers players, this is probably the round to do it.
especially Lockie Galvin.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about him.
Could
in a
low-key
second.
boost for 3 Tigers players this week. There's some gems there.
Yeah, I'll just go from the top. Probably the first relevant is that far Tarpe. Would you be bringing him in at the 200k there?
What's his average so far?
He's not been scoring that well.
Not
but-
heaps. He's got a pretty low floor. I think he had 20 in his first game.
Yeah, so he's averaging 29.
21 and a 38.
Yeah, so averaging 29 and a half.
Ooh, 38 last week
With a
and
line
still only base 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not massive on him, especially like where do you see the Tigers being? Maybe like 9th at best.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a trap, especially. I think I can see him scoring high this game and then kind of going back to his base stats being pretty poor.
Yeah.
I'd just hold off because Talangi from the Eels could be way more exciting at the same
Yeah.
price.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like there's worlds where I would bring him in if you had heaps of injuries at the centre wing, but I'm holding off. Like I'm holding Tuapiki to see if he gets a spot at fullback next week, and then if he doesn't, like if Chance is back, it would be a Talangi next week that I'm bringing in.
Like it.
Olin was really good. Would you
Only
think?
only played the one game, so he's still a watch.
Yeah, so still a watch, but yeah, possibly an option.
That could be an option as well.
The big one we'll jump to now is Lockie Galvin at the 200k.
Get him in.
I luckily started with him. If I didn't have him, mate, he would be my top trading option. He looked unreal, and he scored well. He scored well in his debut, and the Tigers didn't play well, and then he looked gun. Like he was the best half in the game, in my opinion, last week as well. So he's massive in. You're not thinking about getting him in, Hayden?
Is he going to go up by 113k? What's his
His
projected
break even
price?
is minus 62, man, and he's smashed out 2 like 50 pluses, so he could go up huge this week.
Just check his projected rise.
Yeah.
He's a 6, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just 5'8".
He's just a 6, so I'd have to bring him in for Flanagan, and I'm not really sure about that.
Break even minus 62. Projected
It's
score
awkward.
only 36. He'll probably do better than that.
If you have Flanagan, it is awkward. I'm very thankful that I started with Galvin.
Yeah.
Because he looks like the real deal. 49 in his first game, and he had errors in that. Check his
minus
errors.
10 in errors.
Minus 10.
Yeah, so penalties conceded and errors minus 10 altogether. So and he had 49. So
It's not too bad.
like definite option. Yeah, I would be looking at him for certain. Yeah, if you don't have him and you can get him, like you don't, like it's not awkward for you to get him in, I would definitely be getting him in. There's instances where you wouldn't get him in necessarily, but yeah, definitely look at him. You can even look at your starting 6. That's pretty crazy, but you could look at your starting 6 and like a Dylan Brown and maybe trade off him.
That's even an option there. I might consider just dropping Dylan Brown and
You
bringing
can
in.
have like a 1.5 mil
Yeah.
on your fucking.
I don't know
That's
if I'd go
so
that.
much money.
I don't know if I'd go that all in just
Yeah.
because he is a rookie and we do have options and things can change really quick. What's to say in a month he's not coming off the bench or rested for a few weeks?
Yeah.
If you go all in, then you might have to spend another 2 trades to go up back to someone like Brown.
Yeah. So
And even then, he's what 200k, so I could probably wait a week as well. If he goes to 313k, I'm gonna make a ton of money.
Man, I don't know. I feel like everyone should trade him in if you don't have him already this week.
if you can find a way to get him in
Yeah.
easily, like if you've got a Strange and you can move a Strange down or something like that, I would definitely be getting him.
Yeah.
Um,
The problem with Strange though, he's a dual code, so you can keep him at centre wing. Which
that's
is
what I'm
like
saying.
that.
Move
Yeah.
Strange down, trade out into
Yeah.
other centre wing, like a Tuapiki or
So
someone.
I've gone Jacob Gagai for Galvin this week.
Yeah,
Perfect.
perfect
Didn't
trade.
cost me any money.
Api Coruscant, I think is close to one of the highest traded in players this week.
Yeah, I'd be.
He looks really good. The only thing is, he looks really good in a really good Tigers team. And do we think the Tigers are going to be a really good team every week? Look, I definitely, if you're trading him in, I can't knock it. It depends who you're trading in.
But they lost to Canberra and he still scored 82 points.
But you got to try.
Ah, true.
So,
what's his base? It's still 50 something, right?
It's still good, but he's 600k. So, like if he's scoring 50 something, he's not a slam dunk. Like if he went 50-50, I wouldn't be trading him in, right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't be. He's not a slam dunk trading. He's definitely not a trade in for myself. If I was going to trade him in, it would be Harry Grant to him. I'm not going to do it just because I think Harry Grant could easily get those big scores. And I played the game last year where I just made heaps of trades and just by the end I had no trades and just ended up going awfully at the end of the year. I think if you have a Harry Grant, you hold a Harry Grant. There's worlds where I would go to him, but for me, I'm not trading.
Fair enough. I understand that.
Yeah.
I think he should be, again, how far do you think he rises? Because you could easily, if you do have a cheapie on the bench, you could just cash out and then go from, say, a Blake Brayley or a Freddie Lussick, which most people have, into a Coruscant later on. But
yeah, he's a 75k projected rise. That's with a 9. Oh, wait. What's his projected score?
So his projected
67,
yeah.
Which is probably about right. And then an 81 against the Dolphins, another 50k. So that sounds right to me. So he'll be 700k plus soon enough. He'll be the same price as Harry Grant if he loses a bit of money. So if you're going to go to him, this is the week. I especially think he'll do pretty well in this game against Para without a Mitchy Moses there to sort of direct the team around.
Yeah.
Just go back to the Tigers team. We'll see who else they have. IPAP we were looking at last week.
Yeah. Basing really well. Scored a try.
Another option if you want a player at that price point, can definitely look at him.
Bolle is interesting. He's dual. He's getting good minutes, 50 plus.
Yeah. What's he averaging?
Around 50.
Yeah.
He looks good. Just, I'm not sure if I want to trade in a front rower this week. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you could trade him into the second row and then shift him around if you need to. But yeah, if you're getting him, definitely want him sitting in your front row because there's a lot of options in the second row. But what's that 59 include? Any attacking?
No, he just went ballistic against the Sharks. 59 in base in nearly 60 minutes.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, he could be an option to trade down if you say you got stuck with Tino and you wanted to free up some cash, but...
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people will be needing to free up cash this week.
Yeah.
With so if you're going to trade him, it's probably like you're probably trading out a Cleary, and then you have this extra cash, so you probably want to trade up one of your bums like a Viliami Fafita, and I can't knock it. If it was front row, I can understand it. Second row, I still prefer Kai Paul.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing we forgot to mention in the Eels team as well, so there's some rumours going around that Bryce Cartwright may have broken some ribs during training.
Yeah, I think Cardi will be out.
Yeah, so I don't know why you'd name him, but from what it sounds like, he might not play, so be careful, especially given that the Monday game, which makes it so much harder.
I think, do we think Kalma Tuolangi goes to the... Because Madison may like bringing off the bench.
Yeah, I agree.
They could
probably
easily...
Tuolangi.
Yeah. I guess that's a wait and see. I'm not interested. Can you just scroll down to the reserves and we'll see what else? So who comes into that?
I mean, Wiramu Greg could be
no back rowers.
Could be a swap.
Yeah, Wiramu Greg maybe. Depends how they want to.
Best name in the comp.
Yeah.
Now, one other person who is genuinely interesting, I think, is Samula Fainu.
Yeah.
A bit of a plotter's score last week, 33, a bit less minutes, so I don't think he's going to set the world on fire, but pretty low break even this week. He's going to make money, 270k.
I'm not interested in my opinion because he had a try for round one and just coming off the bench. I'm just not confident about his minutes. Like 270k, like there's definitely worse trades you can make. But like if your team's winning and you're scoring 33, it's not not super positive signs.
Yeah, it's not great.
46 minutes is okay.
Do you score a try against
Got
Canberra?
to try in round 1, yeah. Like, he was definitely a wait and see, and a 33 doesn't really excite me very much.
Yeah.
He could still be a wait and see. Like, he's not going to make that much money. He's going to make 60k.
Look, if you're tossing up between a Fini Fuiaki or a Fainu, because you can't quite get to a Pierce Paul, then I'd consider him.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'd consider him. Not a much trade penalty.
It says there he's projected to go up to about 450 KD by about round 9. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, he'll make money.
Yeah, he'll make money, but it's a bit of a slow burner.
Yeah.
Is that everything with the teams?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, so we'll just quickly talk on... I guess we did speak about the halves. Cardia, that's probably everything Supercoach relevant. Obviously, if you have like a Mitch Moses, you're selling.
Yeah, of
And
course
then
you
if
have
it
to
waits so
sell.
long, you wait a week.
Yeah.
Just quickly, we think Dylan Brown, do you think his output increases or decreases?
I'm kind of not sure, to be honest. It seemed like he had a couple of errors in his game last week. Like, it seems like there was very much a directive to get him more ball, but he wasn't doing anything with that ball.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he's going to deal with that. Is Blaze going to get more ball? I love that name, but will Dylan Brown be kind of forced into doing a more organising role and be kind of told you have to focus on the footy, don't do anything off the cuff? I don't know.
Yeah, for mine, it's to just wait and see.
Yeah.
Like I'm holding and then
Yeah, it's definitely a hold for me, but at this stage, if he doesn't do well this week, I'm probably going to sell him.
Yeah, definitely watch that game intently. Watch Dylan Brown this game intently to see what he gets up to. You need to sort of actually watch the game to understand. Like, if he's touching the ball a lot, like there's often times where players will have a try assist and then, the back rower drops the ball over the line, stuff like that. So it's a watch and not necessarily care as much about this. Obviously, if he scores 100, great, but it's not care as much about this. So just watch intently to see how he's going in that position. Do you have anything to add on D-Max?
Yeah, I'm not really thinking about trading him out, to be honest. Definitely see how he goes. If he's not looking comfortable in the 7 position, maybe I might think about getting rid of him. But Adil Bag's looking quiet, averaging 60, makes me pretty keen for what's going to happen when he explodes.
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree with that totally as well.
Let's talk betting now.
So I think the Tigers are going to win pretty comfortably, especially given the Eels haven't really looked that comfortable this year, even though they did...
They got a good win last week.
They did have a good win, but I still think defensively on that left edge they're very, very shaky, even if Morgan Harper is now playing centre. So I think the Tigers, being a smarter team now, especially under Benji, will essentially understand that and they will attack that. So I'm going Tigers to win, Staines anytime, and for Tape anytime at 15.
Yeah. So for myself in this game, I luckily got on Tigers plus 12.5 early. That was $1.90, that line. The line's currently dropped to Tigers 6.5.
Thanks for that, Jimmy. Free money.
Yeah. In the earlier games where I got on early, so the Raiders and the Roosters, I did say that I would still play those bets at their current line. So like a Roosters minus 3.5, a Raiders plus 4.5, I'm still interested. I don't know if I am as interested in a Tigers plus 6.5. The reason for that, Tigers got a massive win last week, right? No one expected them to win, so public favour is going to flip completely on the Tigers. Everyone's like, oh, they got a massive win. Like, they can, beat anyone essentially. If they've beaten the Sharks that were 2-0, they can, like, everyone's opinion of them is going to be probably higher than it is. So I wouldn't be running to play the Tigers, although, Mitch Moses being out is a massive out. I could definitely see the Tigers winning this game, and I love that I got them at a plus 12.5. But a plus 6.5, I'm not running to play sort of either side of that line, to be honest.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. Anything to add? And you're a Tigers supporter, so anything to add for this?
Yeah. I also don't like to be too biased and bet on my own team too much where I can. Normally ends in pain being a Tigers fan. But I did take that 12.5 before the bookies adjusted when Moses got ruled out. So I'll take that and run. The total points line's pretty high this game. I think it's 45.5, but I don't know if the bookies can make that high enough. There's probably points in this game, I reckon. Dry track, Easter Monday.
Yeah, 40. If it's that high, I would be scared of playing. Sorry, I would be scared of playing a 45.5 early in the season, just because generally the higher points games are later in the season. But yeah, I guess definitely a Monday game. It's going to be like a day game. It's not the worst time for points, but I would be scared of that a 45.5 line.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so that's all the games for the week. We've got our 2 side bets, so we'll see how they go. So it's the Rabbitohs, so it's Latrell over 75, or for myself, under 75 for yourself.
Yep.
And then the Broncos game, dependent on Adam Reynolds.
Yep. It sounds like you've got a Benji Marshall rule enacted, but...
Yeah, Benji Marshall rule enacted.
Yeah, so do you want to explain that story out?
Go on, Aiden.
So we're playing, we're playing Rugby League Live 3 back in the day. So we had an agreement that basically I was kept on scoring the first try and you kept on restarting the game because of it. Yeah. So of course you say, yeah, finally, okay, we'll stop doing this. We'll play for serious now. I score, and then suddenly Benji Marshall, the best player in the West Tigers team at the time, breaks his arm and is taken off the field, only for Adam to then restart the game and say, you forgot about to add the Benji Marshall rule. The best player is not playing anymore. It's not fair.
Yeah, same principle here. So if Renault's out, Jimmy's not going to be taking you on with the Broncos versus the Cows.
Yeah. And so for those bets, like a lot of the bets I've already mentioned today, I'm not going to play until the day because of like so many of the teams have injuries that are up in the air. Like obviously I got on a lot of bets early, but that's because I knew that there was new players out and I knew the line would shift. So any other bets, like even a Raiders plus 4.5, wouldn't mind waiting to the day to play that, or like a Roosters, I wouldn't mind waiting for the day to play that.
Yeah.
Just because we're not 100% certain what the final teams will end up being. But yeah, at this point, this is what I like betting wise.
Fair enough. I think we've spoken about everything we need to, haven't we?
Yep.
Okay, thank you for watching. If you got this far, like, comment, subscribe, tell us your mum's maiden name, give her our address. We'd be pretty keen.
Yeah. Also, just in the comments, leave anything you'd like us to change, any of your own best bets, who you think is the best looking out of the 3 of us. And yeah.
We should take their shirt off next pod.
Yeah.
Should we oil up next pod? I don't know. Should that be the bet?
Yeah. Maybe actually comment what the side bet should be. So if we go 1-1, it'll be even. But if one of us goes 2-0, give us a comment of what we should be doing if we lose.
A forfeit.
Like a forfeit, yeah. So whatever that should be on those 2 bets. So Latrell over 75 and the Broncos Cowboys game. Just give us a forfeit in the comments.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we'll go fuck ourselves.
Yeah.